Boys and girls on the internet, how we doing? Good morning, good morning. Hope you're all well. I'm just finishing off me toast. Gotta get me some food. How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning. Wow, diving straight in with the goal-making questions this morning. 3.3 mil liquid on a full US server. Should I bother getting into Legos at this point? What reason would you have to not get into Legos at this point? We've still got another year of Shadowlands, and Legos are a cash cow. Milk it while it's juicy. Right. Today we have a few things. I'm going to get some auction house stuff done first and foremost while I drink my coffee. Then we're going to head over to the PTR. The PTR is the place to be right now, at least until Wednesday when we get the Mage Tower to play with anyway. But PTR is the first port of call this week. I didn't play the I didn't do any testing over the weekend at all on the PTR. Even though that was kind of my plan to do, but I didn't. I did try and take a day or two off. It didn't really happen. But we'll be on the PTR a little bit. It is Monday. We should probably go through the Wowhead Economy Weekly Wrap-Up. Although for any of you that might have seen it, I might have accidentally stolen the show. So it might almost end up being a Manthius recap, but we'll see. So I heard the market dries up, profits are low, mats are expensive these days. Profit's profit. Do you want to make more gold? Easy. I rarely consider there to be any good reason to not go and look at it two ways. Look at it from this point of view. How much gold will you make if you don't get into legendaries? None. Because you're not in that market. How much gold might you make if you get into that market? A lot. Just give it a go. Just give it a go. No reason not to. Don't blow all of your gold in one go. Only spend as much as you're willing to lose. And if you make some, cool. Right, let's get this dude loaded up. I know that sounds like a relatively generic answer.
Hello there.
Hello there. How we doing, Cal? I know it sounds like a relatively generic answer, but it's the answer that I've sort of decided to start giving more often, considering the other variables I have no control over. I don't know if your realm has got lots of raiders on it. I don't know if you're going to be willing to spend a bit of time cancel scanning to get them sold. I don't know these things. The only thing I know is that you will make 0 gold if you don't do it. There is a good chance of making a lot of gold if you do it. That's the reality of it. I can't really be too more precise, unfortunately. You've got to make that decision yourself. Right, let's grab all expireds out of the way. regarding legendaries especially, there has never been a system in the game that is so as broken and overpowered for crafters as legendaries. So, it's, sure, the barrier to entry is quite high. It is quite a tough market to really get going with it. But when you do, it makes multi-millionaires. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's definitely worth trying. 700k of sales overnight, I'll take that. What have we got? A bunch of Umberhide stuff. Graven Scale Grips of the Decimator. It's an odd one to sell. I have no idea what they are. But 3,500 gold, I'll take it. Band of Purification, 42 gold. It blows my mind that I list things this cheap. But sometimes you just got to give it away. Jagged Hornet Braces, Contenders Wormhide Gloves. Shadowy Shanks. Interesting selection. Interesting selection. Turn the tunes down a bit, they're blasting in my ears. But how was everybody's weekend? Did they have a nice, chilling, relaxing weekend? We are now in December. I consider it festive season. Who got their Christmas decorations up? How many of you got some Christmas shopping done and out the way? How many of you just played World of Warcraft all weekend? Yeah, I imagine some of you probably did. Right, let's do a... Considering we don't have a huge amount to relist this morning, because it's about to expire in 50 minutes. I really need to time this better. I wish Blizzard would give us a 23-hour operation. 24-hour operations just means that all of my listings end up further and further and further into the stream. I need a 23-hour listing. Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, not to bother. We'll come back later then and do all of that business. It can wait. It can wait. Let's just then get all of this listed. And this is quite a quick and easy one. Paduru, Paduru. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds cool. Sounds kind of French. Well, welcome in. Good to see you again. One of the OGs. A lot of stuff going in at normal here. What ranks are these? 168s. 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 Appears that people have just stopped making 168s. Look it up on YouTube. Oh, now you see, I don't keep up with my memes. I catch a few of them as they pass me by. But I'm way too boomer. Way too boomer for that sort of stuff nowadays. In some regards, I'm forever young, but I think there's such thing as too many memes. It's all good. Right. Where are we at then? Let's check materials real quick. Anything that looks remarkably cheap that we don't have a lot of. Happy Independence Day to my Finglish friend. Ah, oh, thank you, yes. Uva Itzamus Paivas, I think is how you pronounce it. Yes, happy Finnish Independence Day to people that are aware. And you're like 35 years old? Something like that, yeah. Something like that. That was pretty good. Thank you. Callous Hide is still nearly 50 gold a piece. This is gross. I need my Skinner friends to do Skinner things. Soul Dust at 11 gold. This is also gross. This is twice the price I'd want to pay for it. Luckily, I don't need too much of it right now. Even Solid Amour's 20 gold a piece on my realm. This is outrageous. And there's not any of it. You know what's the most ridiculous thing? Is that even Solinamore doesn't exist on my realm. Damn. Widow Bloom, there's plenty of that. I don't really need herbs, but I just keep my eyes on the price of them just for science reasons, I guess. Independence Day for me is not till 4th of July when it's super hot. Yeah, it's the exact opposite of super hot here in Finland today. I think it's, what is it? We've just been out to walk the dogs, which is why my face is probably still a little bit the wrong colour. It is currently -12 outside, but it's windy, which apparently makes it feel like -22, which is I can attest that is pretty chilly. Which is why nice, hot, warm coffee is doing my system all the good. All the goods. Wow, Shadowgast ingots, 155 gold apiece. Now, I'm more than happy to pay a premium so that somebody else crafts these for me. But paying 3 times the price is a little bit too much of a premium. Korthite crystals close to the 500 gold a piece mark though. Ooh. I've been relatively aggressive with the Korthite crystal market recently on my realm in terms of the fact that I just buy everything. It's considerably easier to keep a grip on the market if you just buy everything. Now, we can get our unit price to 562 if we buy out the auction house again. That gives us crystals, and it doesn't give anybody else crystals. Well, I mean, I find it very hard to not do that. This person is going to have a happy day selling their crystals at, 700 gold apiece. I mean, I could, in theory, maybe drop it to there, but I don't actually save myself all that much on a per unit price. So, yeah, well, there we go. There's the best way of spending 700k. I will have the Korthite crystals. You will not have Korthite crystals. I will make legendaries. You will not make legendaries. It's supply and demand at its best. Buying power. Yeah, baby. Buying power. What we also do, if we really want to play the fun buying power game, is we buy a core material. I'd buy out all the lithium, because the essences are also grossly priced. Look, 1,000 gold a piece for an essence. Essence of Torment is the cheapest, and it's 500 gold each. That's so broken. What is my realm right now? This becomes a problem when everybody decides that they want more legendaries and they can't have them. What's Shadowgast rings look like? I can gauge the market just by looking at what the price of Shadowgast rings are. Shadowgast rings, 95,000 gold a piece, and there's plenty of them right now. That's an indication that the market is still doing fine. The market is still doing fine. There is a lot of them kicking about at about 95,000 gold. We can keep chipping away at this though. I'm happy to sell these for as low as 68,000 gold. Needs must. Push come to shove. God, there's so much gold still in this. Okay, what about the neck? Shadowgast necks are still equally priced at ridiculous levels. Which is the best one to start with for Legos? Tailoring is probably the cheapest, whilst jewel crafting is probably the most easy to have success with. Because both the Shadowgast neck and the ring will sell. You'll have to put a lot more time and effort into selling the Shadowgast rings and necks, because there's only 2 slots, they're both kind of competitive. But I guess you would probably find overall tailoring to be the cheapest, so it depends what you prefer, whether you want a slightly less risky get up and go. If you want slightly less risk, there's tailoring. if you're willing to be focus a little bit more on it, then I'd maybe start with jewel crafting, as jewel crafting is almost guaranteed to be profitable, because of just the way that jewel prospecting works and the fact that people just don't understand it. So how's your recent ledger? Have you been able to sell any low ranks, 1s, 2s and 3s? I don't craft 1s, 2s and 3s. Regardless of, even if my ledger says that, even if LST tells me that they're profitable, look, rank 3s here, it claims that there's 50k to be made on some rank 3s. I don't care. I don't stock 1s, 2s and 3s. It's not through the fact that I couldn't make gold on them, it's the fact that it just adds something else, another item to be listing and selling. When you get to this point where you've unlocked everything, it becomes quite a lot to deal with. If you want to cancel and repost at any point, you start hitting the throttle and it starts getting gross. Which led me to, on this realm at least, to decide to not sell the low ranks. So unfortunately, I can't tell you, because I don't craft them in the first place. But my legendary stock tracker would seem to indicate that rank 1 is how rank 1 has always been. Rank 1 is just rank 1 hell. You just have to fight through it. You have to consider it a loss. Rank 2s and 3s though, you can still make a little bit of gold on some of them if you're willing to put the effort in. But I don't actually craft and sell them myself, so I don't really know. At least not on this realm anyway. Have I got much lithium ore? I've got a little bit of a lithium ore. It is remarkably expensive right now though. Do we need to be crafting any intermediates? We probably do, but the question is how many do we need? We need a lot of, we're missing a lot of heavy callous hide. Okay. How much is a lot? To the tune of 3,500 a lot. That's 2,500. 2,500. Well, how much is this? That's only 2,600. There's only 2,600 that I'm willing to buy. Puts my average price at over 500 gold a piece for heavy callous hide still. Which is ironic, because that's actually less than what my current smart average buy price is still. But what if we buy just to here? That's more sensible. We'll go with that. There's another 1,000,000 gold spent this morning. How much soul dust do I need? I need, it says here, 2,000. We need a lithium ore. Okay, we're not going to... that'll do us for now. Does TSM support tracking of sales by item level now? No. No, unfortunately not. It only can track the sale of items by the base item. So if you're selling Shadowghast rings, it can tell you how many Shadowghast rings you have sold, but it cannot tell you which ones you have sold at which ranks. I don't know whether it's a cannot or just it chooses not to, but it's mainly due to, I think, how TSM tracks the sale data. It tracks the sale data based on the chat log that is created when you loot something from a mailbox. That sale, like, it's literally just reading the text to determine what's sold. Now, just by reading the text, it doesn't tell you what rank of that item it was that actually sold. This is why the you have sold a something for this price is sometimes wrong on the auction house as well, because the way TSM presents lots of its data and tracks lots of its data is by just reading the chat log entries that are created when you do things. I'm not sure if there's a smarter way it can be done nowadays, but I'm sure TSM do it that way because it's just probably easier. Rank 1s and 2s is the entry cost. It keeps the competition down. Yeah, pretty much. Different goblins will do different things. I just actively choose to not sell rank 1s, 2s and 3s. Some goblins will still craft rank 1s, 2s and 3s as and when they're profitable, but will be happy to sell them for like 0 profit just to keep the prices as low as possible, to make it less attractive for other people, to make it more difficult for other people to you know, get through that barrier. I just don't like, I obviously have to craft them if I'm leveling something, but then I sell them, and once they're sold I usually don't craft them again. Recuperate as much gold as you can from them, and then just spend that again on higher rank stuff. Main has jewel crafting, enchanting, and the alt has tailoring, leatherworking. Still got to hit 60 though. Hey, well, get leveling then. Get leveling. Alright, crafting, go. WoW UI, because that UI is terrible. Can't afford currently to get into the legendary game, but willing to accept my losses when ranking up the skill. Just wondering if there's any money to be made on the way up. Arguably not a lot. It's mostly about damage limitation on the way up. But realistically, the way up is actually only crafting 15 rank 1s. As soon as you hit rank 2, you have options available to you, because as soon as you unlock the ability to craft a rank 2, you can either craft a rank 2 that is almost guaranteed to sell for a loss, or you can craft a rank 4 by making a rank 2 with a Vestige of Origins. Now that rank 4 is much more likely to sell at a profit based on what it costs you to make it. So very, very quickly you can get into an area where you can craft things that probably should be profitable. If we look at rank 4s, there's not a single rank 4 on my realm that isn't profitable. Anybody can start crafting and selling these rank 4s at the cost of creating 15 rank 1s. The 15 rank 1s are going to be at a loss, but luckily a rank 1 doesn't cost that much in relative terms. If you look at any given, let's take what's probably the most expensive route. If we look at what the most expensive route is, we can work out a worst case scenario. Your worst case scenario is if you're doing this with leatherworking and you're trying to do, I don't know, Umbra hide legs. Total cost of rank 1 is 100k. Roughly. Please, for the love of God, remember this is rough numbers. Roughly 120,000 gold to craft 15 rank 1 Umbra hide legs. That is your cost of getting into the legendary market on that item slot. Then you could very quickly start looking at the options of crafting rank 4s. Now, if you're crafting your rank 4s using a rank 2 and a Vestige, your crafting cost can often be quite competitive. And at that point, you'd be looking at Umbra hide legs rank 4. You can straight away start to see that you should, or probably can start crafting stuff that is may even turn a profit, but worst case scenario sells for what you paid for it. But you're still gaining that experience and you're working your way up and unlocking the ranks while you do it. And as we get into patch 9.2, we'll have the Vestige of the Eternal. which dependent on how Blizzard balance it, would mean that people can start crafting rank 4s straight away. They won't even need to craft those 15 rank 1s at all. Now, arguably, when rank 7 becomes the highest rank that everybody wants, are people still going to want to buy rank 4s? And will rank 4s still be profitable? We don't know. How often do you clean the TSM database, and how far back do you go when you delete it? The lag caused by a big database is insane. Well, I used to keep it down to about 90 days. I used to keep it really clean. But considering I now, I'm a lot more publicly, I talk about what I do a lot more publicly, and it's handy for me to have data that goes back further than that now. Meaning that I probably haven't actually cleaned the database for about a year at this point. But I just live with a little bit of lag. When you clean the database as well, the thing to remember is that it doesn't get rid of everything. It gets rid of some data, but where's TSM? This data will get reset. This data down the bottom here will get reset, but the graph will stay the same. And I believe the TSM ledger, not this one, the web-based one, still tracks it, but don't quote me on that. I'm not, yeah. This data will get wiped. This is why if I go back, my actual sales data, I think, is from about here. The way you mess with the graphic is if you select the forget character. This is by no means a great data analysis tool to go by, because it's super easy for this to just get broken. On one of my other realms, on Tauren Mill, the other realm that I play on quite heavily, there's a huge massive spike and then a massive great big drop in my graph, and I have no idea why. There was definitely not a point where I was super duper rich all of a sudden. I don't know. TSM has the ability to do weird things, but all that aside, this realm is now up and running, doing something. We can actually move over and check that realm next, while my coffee slowly but surely kicks in. Where do you reset TSM data? It's in, if you go /TSM settings, I believe it's in accounting. There you go, clear old data. You can clear old accounting data below to keep things running smoothly. Remove data older than, and you can choose up to 365. So you can keep a year's worth of information and clear everything older than that if you wish, but need to finish up the campaign to get the Vestige. Yeah, it's partway through. It's chapter 3 or 4 of the 9.1 campaign you unlock it. I can't remember the exact chapter name and the exact point, but it's partway through the 9.1 campaign you unlock the Vestige. And there's no skips, unfortunately, for any of it. You just have to do it, even on your alts. Which is annoying, because it's annoying. Let's check out Tauren Mill's doing. How long does it take these days? Well, the annoyance really for most people is, I mean, you can do the campaign relatively quickly. I say relatively quickly. It's still a good few hours of effort to do it. Luckily, though, you're like the likelihood is, unless it's an alt that you really don't ever play, if you've at least got 200, 220 item level gear, you absolutely blast through it. The downside is that it just does take a long ass time. Even with flying, it's an annoyingly long length of time on an alt when you're doing it for one single purpose. The 9.1 campaign, people used to do it for the purpose of leveling up as well, because you'd get the Covenant gear out of it. So it was a somewhat efficient way to also level up that alt. The problem is nowadays is you can just buy a set of 200 gear off the auction house instantly. So nobody's doing the campaign to level up anymore. There's no bonus reason to be doing it, which does just make it feel like more of a slog, unfortunately. Six of 9 done, and I don't have it yet. Of the 9.1 campaign, if you've done 6 of 9 of the 9.1 campaign, you can go over to, what's her name, Duchess Minx, the Death's Advance quartermaster in Korthia. If you are honoured with Death's Advance, she will sell you the Tome of Origins, which is what you need to learn how to make the Vestige. If your characters don't qualify for the Tome of Origins when you do the quest, you don't get the quest item. It then goes on to the vendor. To qualify, you need to have a profession at max skill, and you need to have already learnt the basic legendary patterns from the Rune Carver. What did we sell? Rank 4 Shadowgast Arm Guards, okay. What I did forget to do was to actually do a Lego cancel scan over here. Must have leveled up professions after the campaign. Yeah, it's a system that's caught people up. It's annoying because if you actually look at the dungeon journal, not the dungeon journal, if you look at the unlearned tab, you know how it often will tell you how you acquire something that you don't know yet. The information it gives there is still not even very clear on what you need to do. So it could definitely been it could have definitely been, you know, made a little bit more apparent on how you do it. But is that really all of the auctions to cancel on this realm? We haven't restocked legendaries on this realm for a long ass time. Simply because I don't particularly feel too over the moon about spending 1,000 gold a piece on a Korthite crystal. Just reset TSM data. My issue is that I was getting a lot of TSM errors when using sync between 2 accounts. Yeah, having a smaller database will definitely help with that, as it's sending less stuff between the two. Do you sell transmog? Trying to find a good guide to guild bank management. The best way to deal with transmog, I don't sell transmog really, no, but the best way to deal with guild bank management is to use TSM warehousing operations. Or if you have, you can go to a guild bank and you can select the group. If you have like a transmog group, you can do things like shortfall 2 bags. This is literally one of the most powerful buttons in the game. This means anything that is part of this group that should be on the auction house but isn't on the auction house, it will move it into your bags. So if I press this button now, there's a good chance that some of these low level legendaries will get moved into my bags because they're missing from the auction house right now. So you can just naturally store all of your stuff in a guild bank. It doesn't have to be neat and tidy. You can store everything in a guild bank, and you can let TSM like pick out what needs to go on the auction house. Now I use this for the purpose of legendaries because that's what I do sell, but it's a simple process that will more than comfortably work with transmog as well. So now I can go to the auction house and do a run post scan, and all of those low level stuff will get listed as well. It pulls from all tabs. Yeah. If it's in your guild bank, and it could be on the auction house, because it checks your auctioning operations. So if your auctioning operation says that you should have 10 potions of magicness on the auction house, but you've only got 5 potions of magicness on the auction house, but you've got potions of magicness in the guild bank, it'll take out the 5 that is needed to put them on the auction house to fulfill your auctioning operation. So I can only keep things I want to sell in the guild bank, can't use the other tabs for other things. Well, no, of course you can. Like I said, it's checking your auctioning operation. If you've got an auctioning operation set up to sell something, and you don't have that thing for sale on the auction house, TSM will pull it out and put it in your bags for you to then go and post it. If you have something in your guild bank that you have an auctioning operation for that you don't want to sell, maybe you might have to work around that, but I can't think many scenarios where that would be a case. Ooh, 181 auctions to cancel. Ouch. Alright, let's get to like 60 something where the throttle kicks in. There we go. This realm is... I should check auction material prices over here. Now, until the value of Korthite crystals comes down to a sensible price point, I'm not even going to bother trying to sell legendaries on this on this realm at the moment. Even though there's money to be made in them for sure, even at these ludicrous prices. In fact, looking at this, I'm almost out of rank 4s even on most stuff that counts. I probably should do a restock on this realm at some point. Maybe I should just bite the bullet and pay stupid Korthite crystal prices and just play the game. Maybe. Maybe. My concern is that this Korthite crystal price being, you know, stupidly high is a bit of a bubble. But the bubble doesn't really seem to be bursting because people are obviously still paying like 50,000-60,000 gold plus for their legendaries. For real, who stole the weekend? Yeah, the weekends tend to go pretty quickly at the moment, especially when you count that there's like 2 weekends left on Christmas or something. What is that? Is that accurate? I might have lied on that one, but we've got like this weekend, next weekend. Yeah, there's 2 weekends left until Christmas now. That's for those that work during the week and do Christmas related stuff. That's not good. No one doing Korthia dailies anymore. Well, obviously, but who in their right mind needs to? Why would people still continuously need to be doing Korthia? Most people who care are already exalted and already tier 6, and if they were to care enough to continuously grind it to get all their conduits and whatever, they've probably done that already. And they probably did that a long time ago. Leaving nothing but just casual Joe playing Korthia right now. People who are maybe hunting down the mount still, collecting a few bits and pieces, but, you know, start doing it just for the crystals on some realms, just to sell them. Yeah, I mean, I see, for any of you guys that watched yesterday's video, part 2 of my, my how I make gold series, I suppose. I use the example of that I don't really suggest people do farming all that frequently. If they have the gold, they should just spend it to buy the things they need. But there are rare occasions where you can make so much gold in such a short period of time that even farming becomes worth your while. Korthite crystals, if you can get near 1,000 gold a piece for your Korthite crystals, and it takes you 20 minutes to do your Shaping Fate, and in that time you get 8 to 10 Korthite crystals, then yeah, sure, that's a really effective way of using 20 minutes of your time. Would be interesting to see the gold per hour for crystal farms for the bigger realms. I mean, it's quite literally that. It takes no more than 20 minutes to do your Shaping Fate if you know what you're doing, especially if you're geared already. 20 minutes doing your Shaping Fate, you're going to get the box that will give you a couple of Korthite crystals in that. You're going to probably have a daily quest that gives you a few Korthite crystals. And there's equally the chance that you might find 1 or 2 on your travels. So in 20 minutes, you could probably get upwards of 10 Korthite crystals. Which, you know, at 1,000 gold a piece is 30,000 gold an hour. It's not outrageous, but it's a quick 20-minute blast. You get 10k for a quick 20-minute blast. For some people, that's significantly worth it. Considering that your callings, which are an absolute huge waste of time, but a calling as a comparative might give you 1,500 gold for that 20 minutes of time. So, to some people, it's still incredibly worth it to go and gather up 10 Korthite crystals quickly. Right, this cancel scan's going to take a while, because I was not expecting there to be quite so many things I was going to have to cancel and relist again, but it's because I'm actually storing all of my legendaries on the auction house on this realm as well now. I'm not just posting one of each. You might spot a trend that I'm actually posting my entire stock. I'm posting 3 of each, which is the limit on my stock. Purely because I don't bother cancel scanning it really anymore, he says as he cancel scans. I do this maybe once or twice a day. This realm though, just out of curiosity, if I was to press the restock legendary button on this realm, what would the damage be? I just realised I don't have the right setup to do it on this account. Maybe LST can show me. That's still not doing the right thing. Alright, whatever. It'd be a lot. We can load up this account maybe. You're from Finland, but you don't sound Finnish. I'm Finnish too, but I sound like an American, having lived there. That's because I live in Finland, but I'm definitely not Finnish. I'm 100% British. If there's such a thing. What do you do here? This. This is my day job. Or it has been in recent times anyway. Why move here? Yeah, we'll blame the wife for that one. My wife is Finnish. Trying to convert Finland to tea drinkers? Hell no. Hell no. I don't drink tea. I mean, you literally see me drink coffee most streams. I drink more coffee than most Finnish people, believe it or not. No, that's a lie. I definitely don't. You are the most ridiculous coffee drinkers in the world. without question. More coffee is consumed per person in Finland than in any country in the world. Oh, you work for Paulig? Oh, okay. Yes, they make themselves good coffee. I know the Pauligs. Now I want some coffee. Hey, should always have coffee on hand. Is there any golden relics of the past? 99% of the time, no. With the Mage Tower turning up in this week, then yes. Yuslamoka, nice package with nice packaging. Hey, how about you send me some? Call it a sponsorship deal. I drink enough coffee to warrant a coffee sponsorship, surely. Macron drinking coffee in Finland? Really? Fair enough. Why was I even on this character? I think I've just logged on to the wrong character. I was meant to be looking on Taran Mill. I got distracted talking about coffee. See, this is what happens. This is what happens. You get distracted talking about coffee and then you start doing things you don't mean to do. Well, I guess if we're logged on to this character, let's go do the mission table real quick then. We might as well quick fire through some mission tables then if we're on this account. Thinking of getting back into retail. Is it fun now? How long is a piece of string? Your definition of fun is probably completely different to mine. Nothing's changed, let me put it that way. If your item level's 216, then nothing's really changed, I'd imagine, since you left. So
don't mince words. Celebrate victory.
We do have the PTR though, the 9.2 PTR, which without sounding too dramatic, 9.2, although the new zone looks pretty nice, 9.2 feels very copy-paste. Very copy-paste. It feels like 9.1.5 was getting all of the quality of life stuff in place, and 9.2 is going to be a copy-paste of Korthia with a little side mission to do in terms of the ciphers and a new raid, and then that'll be it. I don't like. Some people are already getting on the 9.2 hype train. I'm a little bit more realistic about it. I've played this game for so long now that I've seen the way that Blizzard do things. This feels very much like they've copy and pasted 9.1, and they're going to call it 9.2, put us in a new zone, Korthia 2.0, and then just focus on 10.0, I think. And I can say this because Blizzard won't ever in a million days sponsor me to do anything. I get zero privileges from Blizzard. I don't even get beta keys. I have to earn them like a real person. Does anybody even level in retail? No, I can't remember the last time I leveled a character. Well, I can. It was quite recently, but it was like, yeah, fundamentally, especially now with having the luxury of having a fair amount of gold, is that I genuinely don't level anything ever. If I need another character for some reason, I just buy a boost. Done. It's a bit gross, but it's true. Nearly 400k in Dreadful Gladiator gear over the weekend. 19 to 30k a piece. Well, there we go. Boom. Big numbers. And that's even before the Mage Towers launched. Actually, yesterday in Samadan's Wowhead weekly economy report, he featured my little Mage Tower video we did last week. And that video has started to pop off overnight. Yeah, how to make gold with a Mage Tower. It's the video did pretty well to begin with, but it's nearly doubled its views in the last 12 hours. So I would imagine in a couple of days' time, when people start searching for Mage Tower, that they might come across that video. Did we, just quickly before I go too far, did we get any rep tokens? We did. Not rep tokens, EXP tokens. I know what I'm talking about. Does anything else interest me? Oh, this one, because it's part of a complete the following more adventures. Shades of Despair. Oh, this is one I still need. Ooh, Plaguey. Go on. Plaguey solo for the win. Plaguey solo for the win. Gotta love a bit of Plaguey. Right, and then everything else, we just spam them out. When your characters get like 50 plus, usually they can solo missions now. Not always, mind, and they don't always win, but most of the time they can. Whoa, I've just realised there was 200 anima to send that mission. God damn. Good thing I don't care about anima anymore. I wonder if I could even catch up. I'm 216. I don't have anything done in the Maw. There's no real reason to catch up. There's nothing new to do. I mean, I hate to sound miserable about it, but there's nothing new to do. Patch 9.1.5 didn't bring any content with it. There's nothing new to do until we get patch 9.2, apart from the Mage Tower, but the Mage Tower is just a rehash of Legion content anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's nothing new to do till 9.2 anyway. And once 9.2 comes out, there'll be a fresh new set of catch-up gear anyway. So, it sounds dramatic, sure, but I can't really sell you the benefits of coming back to playing the game right now, if I'm brutally honest. On the basis that there really isn't actually that many benefits to playing the game right now. I would rather be honest than try and, you know, sugarcoat a turd. Always watch the YouTube and the streams. Never really get into making gold. I'd like to, just for some reason I don't. Sometimes I'm trying to hunt for cheap reagents to post for hire, but that's about it. It's one aspect of gold making that you have to actually enjoy the process. Some people farm transmog like hours and hours and hours and hours on end. Not because they're trying to make millions of gold by selling transmog, but just because they enjoy the farming. Now, if you enjoy doing the thing, then you'll passively do it without any reward. So if you don't actively enjoy the process of gold making, I can understand why it is a bit difficult to get into it. There's it's not an activity that is super engaging for many people. I get that. That's why it's such a niche community to begin with. Gears 245 something now. I'm 216. I'm behind somewhat. It depends what you're doing, though. I mean, yeah, sure. If you want to do mythic raiding, then yeah, you're behind on gear. But like I said, it depends what you want to do. Best part about gold making is checking the mailbox. It's like the Great Vault, but better. Yeah. What's better than getting a nice juicy mythic drop from the Great Vault? Getting 1 million gold in your mailbox. Boom! Easy win. Easy win. It's not the enjoying of it. I just kind of feel every time I've tried, I've ended up losing more than profiting. I end up doing stupid things when crafting. Patreon up, get the TSM operations and enjoy the free gold. Hey, yeah, shameless promo time. If you want a step in the right direction, but become a goblin on my Patreon. Get access to my TSM setup and literally click a few buttons and win. At least at a basic level. It's set up in a fashion so which you basically can't lose. You won't craft things that aren't profitable, and you won't sell them for less than you crafted them for, so it's almost impossible to lose. We are in the wrong place. Let's move our character. You're going to add some movement speed gems to your Zoomy set on the PTR. I did, actually. I did add some movement speed gems in there. The thing is, though, is that they actually account for such a little increase that it was barely worth it. Plus, the crafted gear doesn't come with gem sockets by default, so you'd have to kind of go a little bit out of your way to add sockets onto it. One thing I do want to test, though, is that hello there. How we doing, Nice Devil? Welcome in. One thing I do want to test today once we jump onto the PTR is that the mounted movement speed increase is Shadowlands specific, but the gear has plus speed on it, which, you know, affects your natural movement speed. I'm wondering if that works outside of Shadowlands. If that works outside of Shadowlands, then it probably will trump any speed set that's ever been. Druids will be able to go super duper speed with this without anywhere near as much complications as trying to find lots of gear with plus speed on it. And, you know, all of those people who, you know, enjoy running through lower level dungeons hunting for transmog and put together a speed set to do that might have an easy ticket to achieve that now with this new speed set. Possibly we'll have to see. It's still a theory. Right. There's a big XP one. Send as many people on this as we need to get it done. These guys aren't going to be able to complete this mission, are they? These guys are not high level enough. And they're Kyrian, which means they're trash. Kyrians are useless. Oh, we might actually win that one. We probably won't, but let's give it a go anyway. When new expansion launches, what's your what is your main character, and do you usually take double gathering? This well, I can tell you what I did at Shadowlands launch. Shadowlands launch, my hunter is my main. Day 1 of Shadowlands, we zerged him to 60. At 60, the very first thing he did was go and unlock the legendaries, and we've been churning legendaries ever since. I still, to this day, have probably not ever done more than probably this many hours of farming, because if you have gold in your back pocket, you really don't need to. Just buy the mats instead. It is true though that sure, as a quick money making scheme, you can take double gathering at the beginning of an expansion and do pretty well. At this point, I think we probably just want to focus on XP missions. 1500. Is it too early to hop on the PTR and start creating new TSM groups for new crafted gear, material, reagent options? Probably. As I would assume that, well, until Trade Skill Master updates the new item IDs, then yeah. TSM probably doesn't work on the PTR right now, not until we get a TSM update. You can start thinking about it, but you probably can't put anything into practice yet. Got spectral tigers or roosters? I've got the spectral tiger. I don't have the rooster. The other one that people like to see is the Swift Zillion Tiger. I have that one. It's another mount that goes for gold cap on the black market auction house. I didn't pay gold cap for it on the black market auction house. I got it to drop when it was current content, believe it or not. Right, well, if you're going to lose, off you go. Yeah, we have old spectral tiger dude. We run around on this fella quite frequently. What's gold cap now? 10 mil. 10 million gold is gold cap currently. I can't see any reason for Blizzard to change it. Not unless inflation gets completely out of whack. Most people don't even come close to getting 1 million gold, never mind 10 of them. So it's there's only a very, very select few people. It's the 1% that even end up with 10 million gold on a single character anyway. And I don't even think it's the 1%. It's probably the 1% of the 1%, if I'm honest. If you hang around in the gold making community, you'll see it quite frequently, but Outside of that, there's very rarely people that have got anywhere near gold cap. My estimation is that the average person in this game probably has less than a token's worth of gold. So most people in the game probably on average have less than 300,000 gold. There's very, very many things in this game that entice you to spend your gold on them. And unless you kind of go out of your way to do something productive, from a gold making perspective, there's not many things that are going to give you gold. How much gold do I have in total? I play on a few different realms. I think if I was to add up the gold I have on all the different realms I play on, it's probably 60 to 70 million, I think, in terms of actual liquid gold. But I don't know exactly. What's going on over here? That can stay there. In fact, I don't trust having those in my bags. In the bank, sorry. I'd rather have them in the bags. Lost Razorwing egg. Alright, sure. Death cries in Booty Bay. Yeah, you're right. There's some definite casual murder going on in Booty Bay. We'll kill those sound effects. I wonder if anybody has like 500 mil. I know of a few people that are definitely pushing that. There's a few names that pop up frequently when you. The thing is that for every person that is for every single person that's, you know, publicly facing about the amount of gold they have, there's probably 10 people that have a similar amount of gold that aren't publicly facing about it. Hickons, for example, has. I don't know what his grand total is currently, but I mean, he's making gold like an absolute crazy person. Hickons probably has 400-500 million liquid gold, I would imagine, at this point. And he's quite publicly facing about it, or at least he streams on a regular basis. Most people are aware of Magicus, an EU player. I think he's Danish, who used to do YouTube content, quite talking about what it was he did and how he did it, but he's not focused on that so much anymore. But he interestingly does a lot of work with he helps out the world first guilds quite regularly if they need gold to buy BOEs and stuff. German streamer called Knights314 has quite a bit of gold. The German player base, actually, the German player base do really enjoy their gold making. There's quite a lot of avid gold makers in the German community. Some of which, yes, equally do pretty impressive things. No more bonus XP. Boo. Maybe then we try and do these ones that give XP tokens so we can funnel them to our main. Alright, well, if you can't win, send them off anyway. How's PTR going? I've not actually logged on to the PTR since Friday. Outside of doing exploring of Korthia, there's not a huge amount on there yet. Weirdly, we still know more about patch 9.2 than what we can actually playtest. The PTR is quite limited in the content that's available on it. But we'll be on the PTR in a little minute. I'm just getting some basics out the way. Once I've got the basics out the way, we'll jump on the PTR and have a play with stuff. I'm looking for big XP missions. My brain still doesn't function properly this morning. There isn't big XP missions, so let's just try and get some of these animal ones done if we can. They need to flush out the PTR a bit. Yeah, the fact that the Zereth Mortis feels very undercooked. Probably the reason why they've only given us the first couple of chapters to play with is because they really haven't got a lot more for us to do yet. They seem to have fleshed out the Cypher system a little bit. What appears to be almost entirely optional progression system for Zereth Mortis. Unlike Korthia, where everybody had some reason to be grinding Korthia to get to tier 6 or to get to Exalted, the new progression system in Zereth Mortis is appearing to be a lot more optional, in terms of that there's no player power attached to it. So mythic raid, people who just raid log and people who just do like mythic plus don't really have any reason to be doing Zereth Mortis currently, which is an interesting play. This is a play that I think Blizzard need to do more of. They need to do things that are not attached to player power. The one thing I said from the beginning that should not be attached to player power is Torghast. Which hopefully we'll do some testing of Torghast. Maybe not necessarily today, but we'll do some testing of Torghast because they're introducing a new Torghast mode, Jailer's Gauntlet, I think it's called, and they're also taking out the necessity to do Torghast for leveling up your legendaries. So Torghast might finally just about be in a place where it's just something that you can go and have some fun with. We'll see. We'll test. Some of the guildies who just do M+ all day are super happy that they don't have to do the new area. See, this is the thing. That those guys who just want to raid log and just want to push keys don't want to feel as if they're obligated to do content that they don't particularly want to do. The problem is how do you then keep those people happy? Because unless, they will then be the first ones to complain that there's nothing to do. It's a fine line, it's a fine balance, but if Blizzard just switch off this need to keep everybody busy all the time, and start focusing on just creating things that are fun to do, people will play a fun game for as long as they're having fun. I really, really, really wish that Blizzard would move away from this desire to have people play their game every single day of every single day. Every single hour of every single day. A couple of new dungeons each patch would help. But yeah, I mean, we had Tazavesh in 9.1, which is now... Tazavesh is now being split into 2, just like Mechagon was. It's now being split into 2 and is going to go into the Mythic Plus rotation. So that sort of, is a new thing for those guys. Can confirm the new Torghast is super fun. We'll have to give it a bit of a play. We'll have to have a little bit of a test with a new. Where the hell are we? Oh, we are in the middle of Revendreth because this is our black market auction house, dude. Hello, dog. And wife. What's up? Is you chilling? Oh, delightful. Who says what? Oh, hi. Oh, hang on. If you... Where can I farm gold as a warlock now? As a warlock, it doesn't. The class doesn't make a huge difference. Oh, an unclaimed black market auction house container that I bought 8 days ago and didn't realize. Farm wherever you want as a warlock. Okay. I should probably... Well, can anybody guess what today's video is going to be? Alright, well, we'll leave that there for now. In fact, we'll take it out. You'll have to wait to see what's in that one. Time for the voice. I mean, I could record it on stream. Painful loss of gold. It will be a very painful loss of gold. First thing on a Monday morning. Should we go see if there's any more?
All goods and services.
What do we got going on here? Here's another one. Bid 'em up. Yoink. Imp in a ball? What's imp in a ball? Do I have this? Trading card game thing. I don't have it. Well, if I don't have it, yoink. Ornate battle plate of the master. Blacksmithing plan. Do I have this? Requires Pandaria 75. Oh, it's a boss drop. No, we don't want that. Is there one specific place I can go, or what do you suggest? I'm not a fan of farming in the first place. If you need some quick gold, herbalism, mining, just go and pick stuff up. Current content stuff. I'm not a huge fan of farming. Full stop. You could yeah, I don't know. Ask student. I'm not the right person to ask about good farm locations, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Right then. Well, maybe considering we have got this black market auction house box, we can put it into. I can just cut this section out of the stream, maybe. This is what we got last time. I'm just going to keep all of the things we get in the black market auction house boxes on in the bags, just so we can see them. Right, everybody shush, relax, don't interrupt my video. I wonder if I can I also record locally while I'm streaming? Is this going to break my computer? It probably will break my computer. Let's just test. Is my computer capable of recording and streaming at the same time without dying? This could be an interesting test. Well, we'll see. How are we doing there, boys and girls? Mantis here, and welcome back to another video. So, it's time for another black market auction house container. Yes, I am wasting yet more of my hard-earned gold. This one, I think we paid just over 500,000 gold for it. 513,000 gold, I think, for this one. So if we don't get something juicy out of this, it's all your guys' fault. It's festive season, you know, so I want an early Christmas present. People in chat are saying long boy incoming. I am streaming this live for those who end up watching it later on YouTube. Keep your fingers crossed. Let's keep this a nice short video. Give me something juicy. Something juicy. Amount at least. Oh! Oh, well that's okay. We'll take that one. The Reigns of the Blue Proto Drake. At least it's something that I need. It's not the best mount, but it's a mount. We will take it. Let's learn this then. Boom, Blue Proto Drake. Well, there's one less dungeon I need to farm. One less dungeon I need to farm. And we get the all the things noise to go with it. Well, there we go. Maybe that was actually worth. I think, yeah, I'm going to strike that up as a win. I'm going to strike that up as a win, boys and girls. 500,000 gold for the Blue Proto Drake. Saves me having to farm Utgard Pinnacle. Lots of you guys probably already have this, but it's a cool one. Go waste your money. Let me know what you get in the comments down below. Don't waste too much money. These black market auction house containers are an absolute scam. But one day we will get the long boy. Like the video if you enjoyed these videos, boys and girls. Subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Right, well, there was the video. You guys get a sneak peek. Crates should only have removed items in, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Right, now here's to hoping that that recorded locally as well and that my computer didn't die during the process. Let me see if it did. Where's my... Appears like it did. Well, there we go. There's some footage to record later, to edit up later. Okay. Let's just test. Is my computer capable of recording and streaming at the same time without dying? This could be an interesting test. Well, we'll see. How we doing there, boys and girls? Manthis here, and welcome back to another video. So, it does work. Cool. Excellent. I'll edit that down, and that will go up on the YouTube later on today. Let's rename that bit of footage. Rename Black Market Auction House Container winning. There we go. What's the best mount you can get from those things? There's basically the unobtainable. You can get. There's a couple of trading card game mounts in there. The one I'm obviously after is the Longboy, because I'm a scrub gold maker that doesn't have it. Yeah, a mount though. I'll take a mount. That's a win in my eyes. 500k is equivalent to a shot mount, and Manthius makes a lot more gold in the time he farms for it, so it's a good deal for him. Yeah, 500k for me is an absolute bargain for a mount from a black market auction house container, to be honest. Absolute bargain. It takes me about 3 or 4 days to make 500k, so definite win. Definite win. Why do you think they removed the Longboy? There's some speculation onto why it was removed. Blizzard regretted their decision to make the auction house so easily accessible, I think. You may have noticed in past expansions that even when they make a new zone, there is rarely an auction house there. There might be an auction house that's accessible if you happen to be an engineer, but that puts the requirement on you being an engineer. There's not a general auction house. And the reason they do this is because the auction house is the one thing that has the ability to bring people to a zone. This is why Stormwind and Orgrimmar have maintained their status as, you know, faction hubs for as long as they have. Because they're some of the only locations, apart from some of the, you know, the desolate starting zones, that have everything. And giving people the ability to stroll around with an auction house on their back, I think Blizzard actually regretted. Because it then meant that not only could that player have no incentive to ever really go back to a capital city again, but it also meant that they could stand anywhere and anybody else could also use their auction house. So I think that the big reason I think why they removed the Longboy is not because it was a cool mount, but I think it was for the fact that they didn't want the auction house to be quite so readily available to everybody. So they thought, right, well, it's in for the expansion, and they take it out again. It's still theoretically it's still available from those stupid containers, which is why I buy them and open them. But yeah, is there a reason you didn't buy the Longboy when it was available to buy? This is going to have to be a YouTube video at some point. The story to why Manthius does not have a Longboy. There is a reason to why I don't have a Longboy. I had enough gold to buy the Longboy, but instead of buying the Longboy, I decided to upgrade 8 accounts to Shadowlands to continue my multi-boxing efforts. And then about 3 weeks later, Blizzard turned around and said, no, input broadcasting's no longer allowed. So I was like, oh, well, bang goes my desire to multi-box anymore then. So I was a bit fucked at that point. That's the short version. That's the short version. The Longboy was 5 mil. You could buy it from a vendor and it was 5 million gold. It's your duty as Longboy owners to keep the mount up at all times. Yeah, if there's not at least 3 Longboys available in Oribos, then your server's a dead server. So what were you multi-boxing? I quite enjoyed just the challenge of controlling, 5, often 8 accounts. The reason I had 8 accounts is because that's the maximum you could have on a battle.net. I had hunters, for example, that I would run around and I would just do world quests and daily quests and just simple things with 8 hunters, just pew-pewing the living Christ out of anything that stepped in front of me. That was just fun. I also used to like taking teams of 5 characters and trying to solo current content dungeons. That was also quite fun for me. The whole standing around with a bunch of boomkins just AoEing thousands and thousands of mobs for hours on end never really interested me all that much. It's just farming. It's just boring. I don't like farming on 1 account. I don't particularly find farming on 8 accounts any more enjoyable. 5 mil in BFA is like 50 in Shadowlands. Almost. Almost. The weird thing in Orgrimmar is that the Longboys are usually just parked outside the bank with the auction house across the way. Yeah. Yeah, what I don't understand is why people in Orgrimmar don't just go to Booty Bay. It's all there, ready and waiting. Are there any Spectral Tigers still legally to be bought? There's keys about, yeah. There's trading card game codes about. They're expensive as all hell, though. If you buy it with, like, real money, you're probably looking at $4,000 or $5,000, I'd imagine, for a Spectral Tiger nowadays. If you buy it with gold, if you're trying to buy a Spectral Tiger with gold, I would imagine it's somewhere in the region of about 150 million gold nowadays. I can remotely control my entire setup with macros in Orgrimmar. Oh, I suppose. I guess you can. Right, well, that was A, unexpected, and B, I'll chalk it down to a win. Getting a mount from any one of those boxes, especially a mount I don't already have, is GG as far as I'm concerned. Let's see if we can win another one of these. I don't know how long is left on these, but I accidentally won that last one 8 days ago and didn't even realise. That shows you how frequently I actually check this, but hey, a win is a win. Did you just miss an opening? You did just miss an opening. You might have to wait until the YouTube video comes out later. You may see this is what I got out of the first box, so you can you can guesstimate that there's a second icon that's missing. Let's park this dude down here. In fact, this dude, we were meant to go and do mission tables. Ah, screw mission tables. That was a lot more successful. Can the box give you something you already own? Yep. It's just totally random. Imagine somebody who already has a Bruto.
Wallet? Are you just glad to see me?
Hey,
Both,
8
I
months.
Fixed.
Very fixed. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it. Chad right there. Yeah. Right, I guess there's oh, I know why I was on this character. I was intrigued to see what the damage would be on a restock of legendaries on Torrent Mill, wasn't I? That's what I was actually trying to do many moons ago. Let's get all of this posted. Or at least I don't think there's any sorts of bad luck protection on those boxes. I think they are a complete gamble. I imagine most people don't ever open enough of them to get to the point where they start getting duplicates, because the actual loot table of those boxes is monstrously large. Any money in enchanting? Enchanting itself doesn't make a huge amount due to the fact that the enchants are just way too cheap. Enchanting enchanting is a middleman profession, right? If you're crafting and selling legendaries, you can't live without an enchanter. The enchanter itself doesn't necessarily make the gold, but it just means that you can make your own materials for crafting the legendaries. That's the main purpose of enchanting this expansion. I only ever get recipes or patterns. I've not opened enough of them really to be outrageously disappointed with what I get out of them yet. But if I end up spending 500,000 gold on each one of those boxes and start getting, you know, crappy patterns, I might change my mind on buying them quite quickly. What's going on? What's all of this noise about? What is going on here? Why am I... What? Hello? What is going on here? I have no idea why I am here. Am I maybe doing the campaign? I may be doing the campaign on this character. God, I have no idea. Let's just get the truck out of here. Hang on. Hang on.
For Azeroth.
For the honor of the blade.
No idea what I was doing here, but let's hand those in. Let's get to somewhere safe. If I focus on tailoring, enchanting isn't a bad thing to pick. Sort of. Sort of. It depends what you're going to do with tailoring. Tailoring enchanting is not the combo that it once was. It's not the combo that it once was. In BFA, really good combo. Shadowlands, not so much. The main reason that it was such a good combo in BFA was the fact that you could just shuffle dust, really. You can still arguably shuffle dust, but there's far more effective ways of doing that. Certainly, I wouldn't dedicate 2 professions to doing that nowadays. Arguably, there's not many scenarios where pairing people put a lot of weight on the pairing of professions. Honestly, in today's age, it really doesn't matter that much. Just pick 2 professions you enjoy. Don't pick a character on the basis that it could be good for goal making. Once you have lots of alts and you have all of the professions in the first place, then you can maybe start pairing them in an optimal point. But just having the profession is better than not having the profession, if you see what I mean. At least for the first time you have it. Right, let's do a restock. What does a restock look like? Oh my days. You see, this is why I've not done a restock on this realm for a while. There's somewhere in the region of 145 legendaries to craft, 5.8 million as an estimated cost to restock what I'm missing, with a 2.3 million potential profit off the back of that. See, this is why I've not done a restock over here for a while. Getting back up to speed with what we're missing right now, considering the price of everything, is ludicrous. To spend 6 million to make 2, it's not a bad turnaround though. It's not a bad turnaround. The question is do I want to spend 6 million when I'm aware of the effort that I need to put in to turn that 6 million into 2 million profit. I used to pair them together, but that's when I used to gather the mats. Now I just tend to purchase them, so pairing's not so important. Yeah, pairing them based on the resources that they use is sometimes helpful, just from a, just an inventory management perspective. Blacksmithing and jewel crafting pair together quite nicely because they share resources. They both, they both need ore. Inscription and alchemy works well together because they're both using herbs. There are some things you can do, but just to make your life a bit easier. But there's rarely a necessity for certain combinations. They're nice to haves, but not essential. I think it's safe to say I'm not doing this restock. But this was just an indication to me to what the damage is. This is a lot of gold to spend on a realm that I'm not really actively playing on it so much at the moment. So we will pass on the we will pass on that restock for now. My server just ran out of pallid bones. That happened to me the other day. I physically couldn't buy pallid bones. It was a weird day. It was a weird day. This dude, did we finish doing what we were doing on this dude? We did, which means we can actually exit that account. Let's check Draenor's auction house real quick. And then we might finally move over to the PTR. 20k achievements, a lot? I have no idea. It's a lot if you've played the game for a week. It's probably not a lot if you've played the game for 10 years. I never really know how to answer questions like that. 20k achievements is a lot, no matter how you look at it. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, a little bit of gold. Not a lot. We'll take a little bit. Something is better than nothing. 1,600 gold. 2,600 gold. Get it right. Don't scam me out of 1,000 gold. Now, I see. Now we're cooking. 14,000 gold. Balling. We're rich, boys and girls. We're rich. Richer beyond our wildest dreams. We've never seen this amount of money before. Oh, what's going on here? Everything's expiring like literally this second. Okay, well that makes that was good timing, wasn't it? Let's maybe then, considering we are probably missing a bunch of stuff, let's recraft a few bits and pieces ever so quickly on Draenor. We will get to the PTR today, I swear. I'm in a little bit of maintenance mode at the moment because I've not done this for a few days. This is the this is the difficulty I have. Soon as we fall into PTR season, something has to give. And it's ironic that if I wasn't streaming right now, I'd have done all of this like an hour ago. My daily, basic bits and pieces to do is so much faster if I'm not streaming. I appreciate you guys, sit through it with me. 'Cause my efficiency when I stream is terrible. Converted carrot carbine. What? What even is that? It's a carrot gun. I didn't even know a carrot gun was a thing. But apparently I had it and was selling it. Item level 60, requires level 50. Cool. It's not the best of models, but I mean, it's an awesome name for an item that I didn't even know I had. Converted carrot gun. Sure. Sounds like something Bugs Bunny would have. The likelihood is our restock is going to go funky if our mailbox is still full.
The inventory is full.
Yeah. Auctioning post, go. Let's get this lot listed. I think the coffee's about kicking in. Some of these prices are completely wackadoodle though. I really have to try and rein this in a little bit. Some of these prices are beyond bonkers. It's another thing on my list of things that I should probably get to. What? Desolate scale arm guards for 14,000 gold. Yeah, there's a problem. It's because the market value somehow has managed to get up to like 5,000 gold for these. Oh dear. Rank 6 Grimvale Cape for 250 gold. That's a yoink. That's a yoink. Sounds like they missed a couple of zeros on that one. That's a big yoink. It's a deal. It's a steal. It's the sale of the fucking century. Rookie mistake, forget the zeros. Yeah, exactly. TSM value instead of a gold value. Probably. Bone bound knuckles. 459,000 gold, posting at normal price. The market value of this is inflated to 183,000 gold. Okay, sure. Okay. Okay. Yeah, if you forget to put the G at the end, then all of a sudden your yeah, mistakes were made. Right, there we go. Mailbox is empty. With mailbox empty... Huh, sold some drums. With mailbox empty, we can look at doing a restock here. If we go... Hang on. Is this the right character? I don't even know now. Hang on, I got too many accounts on the go. Let's get auction house stuff done. Get auction house stuff done and then move on and do something else, because I'm getting confused. Scrap copper, just let us... Yeah, at this point I don't know why copper even exists. But it's one of those things that's probably baked so deep into the code that it's not as simple as just ignoring it. It's like... It's the butterfly effect, you know. It'll, you'll take copper out of the game and all of a sudden Mythic Sylvanas will turn into a purple donkey or something. Come on, scan. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Why's it got stuck here? Look how close you are. There's like literally nothing. Just finish already. There we go. There we go. Just needed some gentle persuasion. A sense of purple donkey will be an epic mount in 10.0. I'd love a purple donkey. It's arguably one of the reskins I wouldn't mind. Give me a purple donkey. Oh god, these expireds don't ever end. Oh, these are also the legendaries that we cancelled. Oh, okay. So yeah, this is really important. We get this back on the auction house. Still waiting for the pink fluffy unicorn mount. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe next Pride month. We'll get a pink fluffy unicorn. Dancing on, yeah, one dancing on rainbows. Yeah. So the mount special starts playing the song as well. So you think that choo choos going off in the auction house are annoying? You wait until everybody's running around on pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. That will be the true definition of annoying. All of a sudden we'll be begging for the choo choos to come back. In 9.2, are they not meant to be adding a dance floor toy? Was it a toy that they were going to add? That's just reminded me, talking about the choo-choos. Wasn't there meant to be a dance floor thing? It was in the development thing video. We've not heard anything about that since. Are they going to, you know, magically forget about that again for another 5 years? Our guild message actually says all train sets are banned. No Sheldon Coopers allowed. Right, there we go. There's my restock here done. Took me longer than I expected, but my restock here is done. Ooh, somebody wants to give me more Korthite crystals. I mean, you can't do a lot with 200 Korthite crystals. What you can do is you can buy them though and annoy everybody else. Ha ha, funny funny. Yoink. Right, that one goes goodbye now. There we go. Right, now... Okay, yeah, so now we can do a very quick... Well, we'll see if it's very quick, actually. This dude is tailoring leatherworking. Tailoring leatherworking. Restock. What's the 62 items. That's not too bad. 20k crafting cost. What do we need? We need a heavy callous hide. We need heavy desolate leather. We need 333 lightless silk. In fact, let's just buy some bonus ones. We need 19 pallid bones. We need 600 shrouded cloth. That's probably it. Right, let's grab those. You can't learn them with ease. Well, you can learn them with ease, but you can only learn one a day. That's the problem. The discovery of the recipes for Mists of Pandaria were all on a daily cooldown. When you, for example, with leatherworking, when you craft a, what was the item? Magnificence of leather or magnificence of scales. When you craft one of those, you will get the material. You also discover how to make something else. You discover a new pattern, but you can only press that button once a day. Now, considering leatherworking, there's some probably 100+ recipes. It can easily take you a good few months to learn all of the recipes. Which is why if you don't have them now, you might only get access to a couple of them in the next, you know, you can get access to one a day, to be precise. Who even is this? This is some Doritos, okay. We need penumbra thread, which should come from one of these fellas. No, not you. Is it you?
every occasion.
Probably you. Yoink.
Take pride in your work.
Now, let's get these crafted. See, your restocks can be incredibly fast if you're willing to just, you know, buy your materials. That's why I love crafting. The more things you craft, the more chances you have of selling something, the more it snowballs eventually. Right, craft next, go. In 2 minutes, we'll make about 20k gold once it sells. That's the theory, at least, anyway. Lightless silk pouches. Did we sell our lightless silk pouches? We must have done. What did we sell them for? We sold them for 606 gold a piece, apparently, and somebody bought all of them. Sounds like somebody resetting a market. I'm not going to complain, though. The crafting cost is like 400, 450 gold a piece. So, yeah, okay. 150 gold a piece. I'll take it. Not huge money, but when you don't have any, it's a start. I don't think our efforts on Draenor are really self-sufficient yet. What's the token price currently? Is it still above 300k? I think the token price is still above 300k, surely, right? Probably means that having it yeah, 310,000 gold. Okay, we're not at the point where we're self-sufficient yet. We need a little bit more juice. Maybe once we get 200 and 230 gear, and maybe once we start chipping away at some simple legendaries, we might get self-sufficient for this realm. Switch to leatherworking. Tried gold making a few times, always failed at it. Could never get on my feet and develop a little bit of money to play with. The little bit of money to play with is usually what you will do farming for. You can, if you don't have money, if you don't have gold to invest, one thing everybody does have, but it is limited, is time, which is where farming comes into play. If you have absolutely no gold, then your options to make more gold is to trade your time for it. But you don't want to do that all too often. You want to trade a little bit of your time to get a little bit of gold, and then use that gold to, you know, make more gold. That's the plan. So do a little bit of farming to get some starting gold, then craft a bunch of stuff and sell it, and then recraft what sells. And eventually you'll do that enough that you end up with lots of gold and you win. Got brain lag. What does LF less than or equal to? I don't think I want both the dogs. You have a little something on your shoulder. Who's this? Just chilling. This is fine. Yeah, less than or equal to. If something is less than or equal to something, do this. If not, do that. Right, there was a mighty fast little restock for leatherworking and tailoring. Let's see what the situation would be if we do a little bit of a restock on jewel crafting and blacksmithing. Jewel crafting, blacksmithing, go. Oh, a little bit more stuff on the go here. Sharpening stones, porous stones. Oh, a few slightly time-intensive things, but not too bad at all. What do we need for all of this then? My days, okay. Anything vendory that I can send over from here. Flux, wire, flux, wire, flux and wire apparently. I'll buy them on this character because, you know, goblin reasons. 259. Let's buy 300 so that there's a couple of spares. Wire. Ah, this dude doesn't sell the wire.
Come visit me again. See anything you need. Until next time.
Something for every occasion.
How many wires? Let's just buy a stack of it anyway. It's not like we won't use them. And arboreal shards? Why am I buying arboreal shards? What the Christ am I making that's needing arboreal shards? I'm not doing Legos. Oh, crafter's mark of the chained iron gear. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Okay. That I wasn't expecting. Well, 50 of those then.
Until next time.
Switch over. Farming old raids, LFR, heroic, normal, still decent. It's been like 2 expansions since I played. Not really, no. No, Blizzard are pretty hot on nerfing all of that sort of stuff. They don't want to make it too easy for you to just farm raw gold. Honestly, spending an hour doing some simple Shadowlands, herbalism and mining will far outweigh whatever you can get from farming old raids. Sure, feel free to go back and do some old farming of raids if there's mounts that you want to collect, or pets or transmog appearances that you want, sure. But I wouldn't be doing it purely for its goal-making purpose. They squished a lot of that sort of stuff when Shadowlands launched. A lot of stuff had to get rebalanced because we had the level squish. And during the level squish, they changed up a bunch of stuff and took another look at a whole bunch of low-level content and nerfed the gold potential from a lot of it. Right, what do we need materials-wise on this dude then? We need a lithium ore. Lithium ore. How much did we need? We needed 68, so let's buy 70. We needed 531 lacerite. We probably need more because we need gems to prospect as well. We need 80 more lightless silk. Just buy 100. We need clusters that will craft, duplets that will craft, novice crafters marks, Oroblast that will prospect for, Oxane, Phaedrum, Sinvir and Solanum. We need like 20 or 30 of each. Probably for Shadowghast ingots, unless Shadowghast ingots are a bit expensive. Although so is Oxane ore. 50 Oxane ore, 50 Sinvir, 50 Phaedrum, 50 Solanum. Porous stone. Alright, of all things. That's not even on my list, look. Porous. What? How do you spell it? O-U-S, okay. Porous stone. Wow, it's literally free. Yoink. Clusters. 200 shaded stone. Umbreon, clusters, doublets. Okay. That should be everything we need then. All bought. To get that little restock done. We might need a little bit more ore, but we can fix that. Some specific LFR ones are decent for old spirits, some raw gold, maybe some transmog. Only takes 10 minutes to hit the instance cap, worth doing every now and then. If you're looking for some easy money, yeah. Although I wouldn't do it if you have more than 10k gold. Yeah, this is the thing. Farming is actually pretty good right now. Current content farming. There's very few bots kicking about. Even on the high population servers. There's a shortage of some materials, which is just going in, spending an hour gathering whatever is short of materials is probably the most sensible thing to be doing right now. Probably. Just looking at Draenor even. Draenor, one of the largest realms in existence. You're looking at, okay, some of these prices are getting fit. 72 gold each for a lithium. Pretty good price. Heavy callus hide. 250 gold a piece still. Oxane ore is nearly 40 gold a piece. Spend an hour farming up some oxane ore and you're just laughing. Like, honestly, if you need some quick startup capital, current content farming of materials is the way to go. But once you have a little bit of gold, use that gold to buy materials and do some simple crafting, and you'll be off to the races. How can you tell what a server is low on? Just look at the count on the auction house. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. The more frequently you keep your eyes on the materials, the more you'll learn about how your realm works. There is some things that you just can't be told. You just have to learn. Experience plays a big part in goal making. Having experience of how your realm operates and how many materials are actually required on a regular basis is something you just have to learn. We're missing a whole bunch of gems actually here. Oroblast and Umbreon. We might have to do a bit of prospecting to get some gems. It surprises me that we're out of gems. Do we have essences for sale? No, we don't. It means we must have sold them all. What was the price of Leystrite? Leystrite's 7 gold a piece. Elithium is 72 gold a piece. It's probably more. What are the price of essences by themselves? Essences 195 gold, 241, 386, and 500 plus. It's probably more sensible, considering I actually have some use at this point for. It takes more time to prospect Leystrite. And there's less risk involved with Leystrite. I'll buy 1,000 extra Leystrite for prospecting. We don't want to prospect all of it. It's going to be 50, isn't it? Go. What just happened to this? There we go. Friend said he invested 300 to 400k to level jewel crafting. Because he thinks making future Legos is going to be hot. Yeah, I mean, of course it is. Yeah, absolutely. Like, we're roughly halfway through the expansion. Legos are not going anywhere. You can, as a crafter, make somebody's best in slot legendary gear. Of course, it's going to sell. Of course, it's going to be valuable. That we have never seen anything as ridiculously overpowered as what legendaries are. There's a bit of a barrier to entry. There's either a gold or a time investment that needs to go into legendaries at the beginning. But if you can cross that barrier, it's an absolute gold mine. Absolute cash cow opportunity. If you have the gold, you can cut out a lot of the early effort. If you don't have a lot of the gold, you can still do it, but you're going to have to put more time into it. What do you mean by the barrier? Well, it tends to not like the much under rank 4 tends not to really sell very reliably. So 4s, 5s, and 6s are what you really want to start crafting and selling. That's where the money's to be made. Ranks 4, 5s, and 6s. But of course, there's a bit of an issue for some people getting to rank 4s, 5s, and 6s. Now, this is where I say that you can get there if you don't have a lot of gold, but you're going to have to spend a lot of time focusing on selling those ranks 1s, 2s, and 3s, and trying to get as much gold for them as possible. Whereas if you have a lot of gold to throw at it, you can kind of jump the queue by just crafting that stuff, unlocking rank 4s, 5s, and 6s, and then starting to craft and sell the good stuff. The barrier to entry is pretty much just gold. Gold or time. You need one of the two. Preferably both. Those won't sell. Torghast farming so easy now. 262 cinders in half a day. That's also the mindset that you want to snap out of. Never ever, don't assume that something won't sell. I guarantee you rank 1s, 2s, and 3s do still sell every single day. Just because you don't think that it's a sensible purchase doesn't mean that others do. I mean, there is a reason why I am still listing and selling all of this low-level stuff. But because there are people out there that will buy it. Masterful Jewel. Oh, okay. Let's just do this one real quick then. People buy the weirdest things. Don't question it. Just take their gold. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if somebody wants to buy something, that's their choice. If you don't give them the option to buy it, they definitely can't. I just bought a full Xmas festive suit and a candle for a hat. So, yeah, they do. See, that's a good example. That's a good example. Yeah, one of the very early things I try and suggest to people getting into gold making is don't assume that something won't sell. Don't, you know, if you're going to say that something doesn't sell, at least be able to back it up with some sort of proof. If you're making an assumption that something won't sell, that assumption is more often than not wrong. If you craft something and list it for 6 months and it still doesn't sell, then you've got a solid, you know, you've got a solid amount of data to back up the fact that, okay, it's not going to sell. But in most cases, especially current content stuff, it will sell to somebody at some point. I bought a rank 1 just to complete the quest, to clean up my quest log. There we go. There we go. People do silly things for silly reasons. I like that. Rank 1 wrists for new Demon Hunter, but they only cost 200 gold. Still sold it. Yeah. Found 380 Korthite crystals across my characters. Should I sell them for 600 gold each, which is the price at the moment, or try and make some rank 6 Legos? The 262 cape is 48k at the moment. I don't know. 48k for a 262 cape sounds incredibly cheap. I would probably just, you know, based on that, 380 times 600, whatever that works out to be. 600 sounds like a lot for your Korthite crystal. So they're probably slightly overpriced at the moment. So take advantage of that. I mean, I don't know what the... I mean, there's $250,000. There's almost a token worth of gold there. It's your decision. You could 380 Korthite crystals would make you 10, just slightly less. Would make you 9 capes. You could make 9 capes out of that. 9 capes at 48k would arguably, yes. There's a greater chance for more revenue, but obviously there's other stuff that goes into the capes more than just the crystals. 228k without very much effort at all, or put some extra effort in and maybe turn it into 500,000 gold. Your call. Your call. And for reference, if we're talking about things that, you know, you wouldn't necessarily expect to sell, everything I'm crafting right now seems to be a lot of item level 87 gear, 117 gear, and item level 100 gear. All stuff that most people would look at it and go, why the hell would somebody buy that? But the reason I'm recrafting it is because I've sold it recently. So, it goes to show. People will buy stuff. If you don't give them the option, they definitely won't buy it. Now, if you've got millions of gold, then crafting this stuff, the profit that you make on this stuff is then probably not high enough for it to be worth your time to do it. If you've got lots of gold to begin with. But at the beginning, this is what's, you know, funding. This is what will ultimately start funding my adventure into legendaries. What's the normal price of Korthite crystals anymore? There isn't really a normal. There isn't really a normal because, weirdly, on some of the super high population realms, Korthite crystals are 3 times the price they are on low pop realms. Because it's on those super high pop realms where people do actually still buy legendaries. There's enough players that people do actually still buy the legendaries. So there's not really a normal price. The reason I stopped crafting that gear is because I can't be asked reposting it for the profit that it gives, yeah. Well, what I tend to do over time is I'll still recraft it, but I will adjust my operations so that, you know, if I spend 100 gold making one of these things, unless I can sell the item for like 2,000 gold, I just don't bother. My minimum profit per item on this low level stuff increases dramatically over time. And I use TSM to do that. Right, but that didn't take too long at all to recraft some of this basic stuff. Still says there's going to be 20 minutes of crafting, but that's because there's a lot of these shaded weight stones and sharpening stones and stuff, which I'm not really actually all that bothered about crafting, if I'm honest. It's easy money, but I can't be bothered. As much as I love my gold making, I'm still incredibly lazy. That has to be said. I must have sold a lot of bags recently. We appear to be completely out of bags. TSM's daunting to get into. That I agree. Yes, that I definitely agree. TSM can be a bit of a nightmare to get into. Luckily though, there are certain people out there that can make the process much easier. I suggest you check out a little playlist of videos that I have. Someone like yourself? Maybe. Maybe. Little playlist of videos will go through the basics of TSM and provide you some simple groups and groups to get you set up with. All the silk pouches. On you go. On you go. $200 gold for a shrouded cloth bag. They really aren't worth making, are they? Right, there we go. There's everything relisted. I think we're and stuff's selling already. What did we sell? Clusters. Sure, deadly jewel clusters. Sure. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break for 2 minutes, boys and girls, and then now we've got an option. We've got options. Either we jump onto the PTR for an hour, as I do actually only have about an hour left, or we check out the Wowhead economy report. You know what? I'm going to feel a bit odd if I don't check the Wowhead economy report. It's a Monday tradition. It's a Monday tradition. I feel that I would feel odd if we don't do it. We may do PTR stuff tomorrow. So we'll take a little bit of a look at this. Posted the crystals for 607 gold. They all sold within 5 minutes. Well, there you go. There you go. Restocking Legos, estimated cost of 1.7 mil, estimated profit 2.1 mil. Good day for gold making. That'll do. That'll do. Sounds good. Right, I'm going to take a break for 2 minutes, boys and girls. I'm going to grab myself a drink, and then we'll go through the weekly economy wrap-up. I might have accidentally slightly stolen the show with this one. So this is actually going to end up more of being a little bit of a Manthius recap. But we'll go through this all the same. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Occupy yourselves for a few. In fact, I'll press I'll do the the regular streamer thing. I'll try and remember to press the ad button. So if you want to take a break for 2 minutes and skip the ads, use this opportunity to go grab yourself a drink, whatever the case may be. Or hit that sub button and you'll never see an ad on this channel ever again. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
Alrighty, we're back. Hey, Rossi Posse with the Prime Gaming. Sellout game on point. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. All my hard work is finally paying off. Thank you, thank you. Greatly appreciate. Unfortunately, that is the sound of a can of Coke, not a beer. As it is still only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I shouldn't be on the beers quite yet. Although, Rossi Posse has just bought me one. Thank you, thank you. But by the time Twitch has their cut and I finally see the money in the middle of January. Right, let's take a look at the Wowhead Weekly Economy then. This is episode 205. We tend to go through this most Mondays. We first give a big shout out to Samadan. He puts the time and effort to curate this little bit of content for us. He usually will stream himself going through this, but he was busy being a family man yesterday, so we'll have a little bit of a read through it. It's all a matter of perspective. 1 a.m., 2 p.m., 5. Well, it's 5 p.m. somewhere. It's always 5 p.m. somewhere, so yeah. Good cider. I do like a good cider. Although, I prefer to drink a good cider when it's, you know, the sun's out and it's warm. A warm summer's day, nothing better than a nice cold cider. Yet, unfortunately, it is not a warm summer's day. It is precisely minus 11 degrees outside. So, yeah. It's the opposite of a warm summer's day. So we have Coca-Cola and we have some Christmas chocolates. Boom. My diet is mwah, beautiful. But anyway, let's move on. So, yeah, thank you once again to Samadan for putting this together. You can go check out Samadan on his YouTube channel or his Twitch channel. But let's take a look and see what we're playing with today. So, table of contents. We have PTR season upon us. We have some preparation for the Mage Tower, and then some further reading. There's not a huge amount of huge amounts of topics of conversation today, but each topic of conversation is quite a big one. So let's dive in. So PTR 9.2 PTR season is upon us. It's that time again. The PTR for the next patch has gone live. And you will see some rapid news and updates here on Wowhead. We went through the early data mined items in blog number 203. So a couple of weeks back, we got our first look at some of the materials. I am going to use this opportunity to shameless promo the living Christ out of my own YouTube channel. We originally took a little look at some of the materials that are coming almost a couple of weeks ago now. Where's my channel? Your channel is this one. A couple of weeks ago at this point, we took our first little look at materials. Here we go. New materials in patch 9.2. 2 weeks ago now, we took a little look at this one. The TLDR on the new materials is pretty simple. There's one new material in each category. Kind of similar to what we usually see. Dirty Obi, though, has been putting together a bit of a rundown for us over on the WoW Economy subreddit. Regarding legendaries, there is a new Vestige of Eternal. This is your Vestige of Origins, but for patch 9.1. This is going to add 3 ranks to a legendary, meaning that rank 7 is going to be the new cap. We'll still have the natural 4 ranks for you to slowly chip away at and unlock, but with your choice of optional reagents can ultimately turn that rank 4 into a rank 7, because this new Vestige of Eternals will add 3 ranks. We know how Vestige of Origins works currently by adding 2 ranks. Your Vestige of Eternal will add 3. What we don't know is what the actual resulting item level will be. Will it make the Vestige of Origins obsolete? That's a good question. I don't think it will make it obsolete. the trick will be is to be smart with how you use them. People are still going to want to buy ranks 5s and rank 6s, presumably because of price and material availability. Rank 6 is probably going to almost become the new rank 4. You know, in patch 9.1, people would buy a rank 4 until they have the resources or the ability to buy their rank 5 or 6. Going forward, it'll probably be something similar, that people will probably buy their rank 4 because they'll be able to get it like almost instantly when they ding 60. They'll probably upgrade once they've done a little bit of Torghast to a rank 6, and then maybe eventually when they've gathered up the resources and played through patch 9.2 enough, be able to upgrade to their rank 7. We don't really know exactly yet. But very, very rarely do people go straight in at the top. People usually work their way up to it, because at least as far as we know so far, you're going to have to play 9.2 for a little bit of time before you can get your rank 7. So, but to tie it back to whether Vestige of Origins will be obsolete, the answer's no. Rank 5s and 6s will still be in demand. They won't be in as much of a demand, but they will still be in demand. It will just be interesting to see what happens to the crafting cost of them, because of course, by the time we have Zereth Mortis, the chance of people spending much time in Korthia is even less than what they're spending time in Korthia now. So yeah, it could be interesting to see what happens to the crafting cost of these Vestige of Origins when nobody is farming up the materials that are needed to make them. But who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of speculation you can do, and it's difficult to speculate properly when we don't know all of the answers of exactly how it's going to work in 9.2. If only you could make a Vestige that added 1 level instead of having to rebuy a crafted item made from a 4 plus a Vestige. Well, I think ultimately Blizzard just made a bit of a derp with rank 5 in the first place. It was sensible. At the time, it looked like it would be sensible to give people the option to get a rank 5 quite quickly, and then they progress onto a rank 6. But then last minute, for some reason, Blizzard rebalanced the amount of, soul cinders you needed to make a rank 5 and pushed it to the point where rank 5s became almost obsolete before they even were a thing. Nobody was going to spend 150,000 gold on a rank 5 when literally less than 7 days later they would have to spend 150,000 gold again on their rank 6. Even people without too much know-how in how it worked that one out. And so hence, even to this day, sales of rank 5s are few and far between in comparison to that of rank 6s. But it feels like this Vestige of Eternal feels like pretty much a copy-paste of what we had in 9.1, just instead of being +2, it's +3. They're made in a similar way. We have this Progenitor Essentia, which is basically your new version of a Korthite crystal. Now, how we go about getting these, we still don't fully understand. What we do know is that they are gathered. The likelihood is that these will drop from the new herb nodes, the new mining nodes out in Zereth Mortis. And that leads us quite nicely onto some of the new materials. So Progenium ore is the new ore that you're going to be running around farming in Zereth Mortis. There is also First Flower, which is the new herb. These two, there's a chance that this Progenitor Essentia drops from these. We can fathom that much out at least, because it's been data mined that there's a perk to the progression system in Zereth Mortis that quotes that it will increase the drop chance of these. So, you know, for it to increase, it must be there in the first place. So we're going to be gathering these Pog Essences. So your Herbalists and Miners are going to have work to do if they want to cash in like people cashed in with Korthite Crystals. The professions have got a little bit of stuff going on. We've got some new Crafter's Marks, and of course the legendary ones have got the new Vestiges, which we've talked about a little bit. I'm at this point, I've deliberately not gone too deep into Crafter's Marks or Vestige of the Eternals. In 9.1, I was really hot about, you know, telling people about stuff the second we knew even something. But I then ended up spending most of the PTR having to correct myself. So I'm kind of waiting a little bit until we know more of the full solution before putting, you know, YouTube content out there regarding it. Materials are materials. So I can tell people about materials, that's fine. We also did a video the other day about the new crafting reagents, the new optional crafting reagents. These are pretty much, you know, they're implemented. There's not going to be much change to these, so we put some content together about that. We'll get to those in a minute. The professions themselves, they are having a few new things added to them. I do predict there to be a lot more. This, I feel, is just the first wave of things. It would feel very weird to me if they add new herbs and new flowers, new ore, but then don't add too many things that actually require these. It would be very strange to me if we don't see new potions and new flasks, but you never know. You never know. This could be the first of many new waves of stuff to come, or it could, you know, it could be that. It could be it. We don't know, but I'm hoping there'll be more to come. But everybody has got the basic stuff coming in. Some new optional reagents that I touched on in a video that I think Samadan's actually even linked here. Plus, I would hope to see some new potions and new enchants and stuff as well. So there's not a huge amount more to say about the professions. Cooking's got an interesting one. We've already seen the empty kettle of stone soup, which is basically your new, consider it your new feast, I guess. Instead of one person fitting the bill, paying the check to provide everybody a feast, it's now a bit more of a community effort. Somebody will place down a kettle of unfinished stone soup. The soup needs a little help from everybody. Contribute your ingredients to finish it for you and your friends to enjoy. So you're then going to have to, somebody places down this, and then everybody adds in some of their materials until the progress bar is full, and then everybody gets their food buff. It makes the feasts a little bit more of a group effort. Probably going to be an absolute shit show in pugs. When somebody places down, and then, you know, what happens when the bar gets to 85% and nobody else has any materials to add to it. For pickup groups, this could be absolutely tragic. But for raiding guilds and stuff, and people who are a little bit more organized about what they do, it's kind of fair. Everybody's getting the buff, so it kind of means that everybody, at least in some way, has to contribute to it. We'll see. We'll see. This new feast will make the current materials obsolete. Maybe. It still says it requires meat medley and fish medley. 5 new proto flesh, 1 new precursor plastoderm, which is the new fish. I would imagine these meat medleys and fish medleys are a concoction of, we don't know what these are for reference. The likelihood is this is just a combination of all of the current meats and fish that we have, so that the current materials aren't obsolete. You can use them to go into this, or you can use the new materials. Reclamation rig all over again. Yeah, maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. But it's a cool take on the whole feast situation. Skinners have got themselves a new protogenic pelt to skin up. Precursor Plastoderm is the new fish. Silken Protofiber, the new cloth for tailors. Which interestingly drops from worms and spiders rather than humanoids for once. It's nice to see tailors genociding something else other than just all the humanoids. It's not a sentence you say very frequently. And then there's the new optional crafting reagent slot, the progenitor enhancement slot. So for any of you guys that are crafting, you know, your level 60 sets of gear, you can now add some flavorful perks to them at the time of crafting them. There's a solid argument to be had that these should probably just be enchants rather than optional reagents. There's a solid argument there. But I do think it adds a little bit more flavor to the crafters themselves. Just, you know, recrafting the same thing for what will be the, you know, the 10th time this expansion, it feels, is a little boring to begin with. To give an overview of what I feel about the optional reagents system, is it feels like a system that was not designed for the benefit of the players. It was designed for the benefit of the developers. It's what I consider a portfolio piece. It's a system that looks good on paper. If you're a developer, you can say, I developed this system and it looks good and it works like this. But in reality, it doesn't do anything for the player. It doesn't add anything to the player. All it does is add confusion and complication. There was something to be said about a new patch landing and you to go out and gather a new bunch of recipes to create new bits of gear. Sure, it made your crafting list 3 times longer. But it felt new. It felt refreshing. Making the same Shadow Steel breastplates that we've been making since day 1 of the expansion, but now we just have the ability to make a slightly higher item level one. It doesn't feel the same. It's not as fun. It's not as engaging from a player's perspective. It didn't simplify the system. All it did was make it easier for the developers to add something new in a new patch. It's lazy. I don't like it overall. I originally looked at it and thought it was quite cool. Like back in the Shadowlands beta, I thought, oh, this is an interesting take. This adds a new twist to it. But in reality, it's not fun. Especially considering the appearance of the gear doesn't change. One of the cool things about having a new set of gear when you went into a new patch was that new set of gear had a new appearance. If for no other reason than, you know, from a transmog perspective, it was something new. It looked different. It was often themed around, you know, the uncanny gear was deliberately themed in a Nazjatar-esque fashion. You know, it was just it meant that it's just lazy. I don't really know how else to say it. I think going forward, it's a system that I would happily see them put in the obsolete box when we go into 10.0. And these new new optional crafting reagents. You can see the list here. Some add AoE effects, some add healing effects, some add a speed boost. There's a bunch of different ones. Check out this video if you want to see more. It's interesting to see how it's all coming together and following on from past patterns. Dirty Herbie pipes in with, it seems like they're following the 8.2 template with Xanthid and Osaminite ore. These were priced quite high initially because so many of the crafts being bottlenecked by them. Also, gathering them became extremely competitive since most of the nodes were forced into small sections of Nazjatar. This led to a sharp increase in multi-boxing, which further set the stage for the terms of service change for multi-boxing. I wouldn't necessarily say that Nazjatar led to an increase in multi-boxing, it's just all the multi-boxers moved to one zone rather than being spread out. It sort of congregated them all in Nazjatar, which made the problem just, you know, very apparent. Now, with the absence of mass multi-boxing via input broadcasting, I would expect some seriously high prices on those materials for a while. Gatherers will enjoy those prices. Crafters will just pass on the cost to consumers and maybe take a slightly better cut as a percentage than if the base cost was lower. Not sure end consumers will feel the same joy when they see this bottleneck reflected in their prices. This is a really good way of looking at it. This is why me and Dirty get on pretty well, because we share a very similar opinion on how these things operate. The crafters don't care what the price of materials are. Crafters couldn't care less what the price of materials are because of this one thing, right? Crafters just pass on the cost. If it costs me 500 gold to make something, I sell it for 600. If it costs me 1,000, I sell it for 1,200. I don't care what it costs me to craft because I'm going to sell it for more than that. That cost is passed through me. It doesn't affect me in any way, shape or form. This is equally the reason I like crafting. Gatherers get the advantage of, you know, their materials sell for a higher price. The people who lose out is the people that are choosing to buy that gear in the first place. They are the ones that are paying that higher price. Bring back the multi-boxes. It's interesting, right? We said this when the multi-box change happened, that the downside, the repercussions of this are not necessarily so apparent yet. It won't. We said when the change to multi-boxing happened that the side effects won't happen for 6 months, and they didn't because there was still a huge backlog of materials. But Shadowlands has gone to prove that multi-boxers played their part in the economy, and the game was designed around them in a fashion. The quantity of materials that was needed to do certain things was balanced in a way that there was always going to be a really high quantity of materials because of multi-boxing and bots. When you take when you take multi-boxing and bots out off the table, there's significantly less materials going around, which dramatically increases the price of things, and has a completely different effect on the game. The game is much better without multi-boxes, in my opinion. I agree. I definitely agree that, you know, less multi-boxing is definitely a good thing overall, but that's because I enjoy making gold. The less multi-boxes there are, the easier it is for me to make gold. But like I said, the people that suffer are the people that are buying these crafted items, because the price that they're paying for those crafted items is considerably higher. Considerably higher. Unless you were multi-boxing, gathering wasn't an option at all. But see, now that I disagree with. Because if a multi-boxer picks up as an Anthid, or you pick up as an Anthid, you've both got as an Anthid. You both then have the like nobody has won until they sell it. You have the same opportunity to sell yours an Anthid as they have to sell theirs an Anthid. Sure, they're getting a lot more of them than you are, but gathering was, yes, an option. It just, you know, yeah, I don't know. That's a discussion for another day. There were no multi-boxes in vanilla in 2005, but the game still went on fine. The game was heavily botted, though. It was heavily botted. It was worse than multi-boxes. It was botted to all hell. Botting was a huge problem in the early days of WoW. Massive problem in the early days of WoW. But yeah, the resulting factor is if the materials are more expensive because less people are gathering them and they're more scarce, then that cost is just literally passed straight on to the end consumer. And we see that like Dirty Irby's quote here of a slightly better cut percentage than if the base cost was lower. This is usually because the more a crafter has to spend to make an item, the larger the payoff that they expect to get when they sell it. Mostly because people work towards, you know, profit margins. They'll have their trade skill master set up to only sell things for a minimum of 20% profit. Now, 20% of 100 is a very small number, but 20% of 1,000 is a much bigger number. And so crafters are looking to take if they're having to risk more to craft an item, they want more out the other end. And it is true to say that the people that really just don't pay off from any of this are the people who actually end up buying the stuff off the auction house, because they're paying like even more of a premium. But we'll see how it plays out. The big thing we don't know yet is just how all of these materials, how many of them you're going to get in any period. Whoa, hang on. What's going on with shrouded cloth bags? Hang on, somebody's buying all of my shrouded cloth bags. It's making a noise. Are you done yet? Yeah, I think they're done. I think they're done. Hello, wife. What's up? What do you want my Christmas ready? I don't think it can go in the washing machine though. Okay. Thanks. Right, I think they're done buying all my shrouded cloth bags. We're fine. Botters had more style back in the day, teleporting players to spell out their website name in corpses. They did do some very interesting things back in the day. That is true. 7 bags. That's for their bank then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Yep. Somebody's filling up their bank. Yep. Took the plunge, transferred characters over to my new raiding realm, pushed to rank 6 on quite a few Legos over the weekend. Oh, well, good luck with that then. Good luck with that one. Get selling. I hope you have a good reset day. If somebody's playing the game with 0 gold making, professions, gathering boosts, flipping, passive gold, then that's their look. Then their outlook. Maybe. But yeah, it remains to be seen how we will acquire all the new spells and recipes. But I'd expect them to be tied somewhat to reputation. So be prepared to send alts in early to capitalize on the markets. To add a little bit to this, we've seen it be a common thing. Let's look at Crafter's Mark gear just real quick for 2 minutes. Crafter's Mark gear in patch 9.0. Those who farmed Venari rep and got access to Crafter's Mark II back in the early days of Shadowlands, made bank. Those guys made absolute bank. They made silly amounts of gold in the first like few days of having access to that. Let's take a look then at patch 9.1 when everybody moved over to Korthia. Those who got access to the Archivist's Codex at tier 4 and picked up Crafter's Mark of the Chained Isle very quickly, they made bank. There was a 4,000 gold crafting cost, and people were selling the items for 30 to 40,000 gold a piece, and they were doing it all day long for a good few days. Though the early bird catches the worm. It's a phrase that is very, very true with gold making. When we get a new content patch, when we get a new zone, when we get new materials and new reputations to grind, those that do it quickly and do it early win. This is what I try to emphasize to people who halfway through a patch ask, is it still worth me doing this? The answer is yes, because you'll make more gold by doing it than you will by not doing it. But if you really want to capitalize on these new markets, being the first one to do it is a huge advantage. This is why the PTR is a really good thing to get to grips with if you're into gold making. Knowing what's going to happen in the new content patch before it does happen can give you a monstrously large advantage. So yes, get yourself ready. Get yourself ready to capitalize on stuff. We've got a couple of months until 9.2 is going to launch. It's the festive period. Use that time to, you know, get those alts in place, get the campaign done, get their renown done, get those characters ready so that the second 9.2 launches, you can just go boom. You can blast into one of these new markets and take advantage of that like early bird opportunity. What did you do with the guild pet option? That might be on holiday at the moment. Full Realms are fun. You can actually sell stuff. Yep. Love me some Full Realms. I did put a little video together last week talking about some of the new crafting reagents, the optional crafting reagents. We did a bit of testing. When would this have been? I want to say probably Friday. I lose track of days at the moment. Maybe Friday, I think it was. We took a little bit of a look at those. Thursday? Friday? Can't remember. Speed sets. Speed sets are going to be a thing. A little spoiler for those that maybe haven't seen the video yet. Speed sets are going to be a thing. One of the optional reagents provides you a movement speed and a mounted movement speed, and it's quite powerful when you stack it. But go check the video out. Penguin's also put together a video going through some suggestions for what you can do to prepare for patch 9.2. I've not seen this. Penguin has a good idea of what she's talking about, so I'd recommend checking out this little video as well. How to prepare early for patch 9.2. Let's move on to the Mage Tower stuff then. Some preparation for Mage Tower sales. In slightly nearer news, the anticipation and the return of the Mage Tower has stirred up some excitement. With a recent post here on Wowhead guiding players to what is the best gear and enchants, the market for opportunities has certainly responded. There are a huge number of older world craftable items that can see a spike in demand if you have the willingness to craft them. Here's a TSM string alone for just the enchants. Oh, okay, Samadan's put together a list of enchants that will be valuable. That's a handy one to have. Copy that one into your TSM profile if you don't already have it. Patreons of mine, you've already got it, don't worry. If you can't craft them and fancy some farming, then some of the raw materials needed are also going to see a spike in demand themselves. We're also going to see a return to the Relic of the Past. Somebody was asking earlier today of, is there any gold making opportunities with Relics of the Past? There are. There are very short term in this very, very niche situation. Most of the time, no. Relics of the Past are just, no, not really. But at the moment, some of the gear that people are going to be looking to buy to optimize their Mage Tower setup is going to utilize these Relics of the Past. Relic 4s and Relic 5s in most cases. I did a video early last week talking about this in a little bit more detail. So instead of me just going over it again, make sure you check that out if you're interested. Quick TLDR is it's any of the Mists of Pandaria crafted PvP sets are going to be quite heavily in demand, and so then in turn anything that goes into crafting those, Windworn Cloth, Ghost Iron Ore, Exotic Leather are the big three. There are some other little things that might go into there as well, but they're the big three. To the point where we even, against my best nature, went out and did some farming for Exotic Leather last week, and I put together a little guide on how you can do the same if you wish. If Exotic Leather spikes in price on your realm, then maybe try and utilize this. Spend an hour, make some quick gold out of it. Don't spend your life farming though. There's better things to be spending your time on. This though is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of things that might be in demand when the Mage Tower is active. It's a bit of a shame it's not going to be around for longer, but anything that reinvigorates old world market is a great thing in my eyes. Agreed. Agreed. All the agrees. I would love if Blizzard would actually make some changes that, you know, brings back the use of all of these past expansions. So much content is underutilized, I think. The second we go from one expansion to the next, the previous expansion, you might as well just delete it, because it becomes so irrelevant to anything that you're doing. The very second a new expansion launches, all of the effort that goes into these past expansions is just dropped, just literally just dead, which is really, really, really a shame. There are some occasions though where little things like the Mage Tower can bring back some life to the past expansion. So, keep or sell Korthite crystals. I have no idea why you'd be keeping them. I would just I would sell them. If you don't have a really good reason to keep something, you should probably sell it. They're trying this out with Legion Time Walking. If it's received well, they might want to make some old dungeons be available all the time. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, Time Walking's been around for quite a while now, and they are, expansion by expansion, they are building upon this Time Walking system. The fact that they're now doing Legion Time Walking with, you know, Mythic Plus as well is kind of quite cool to see. You know, re-bringing back the Mage Tower. It goes to show that these systems that they created in the past, they would like to reutilize some of them. Although I do think that the Mage Tower was like the ace up their sleeve. You know full well that, you know, Blizzard were very aware that people considered the Mage Tower to be one of the better systems put in the game in the last 10 years. People even loved challenge mode dungeons back in, when was it, Mists of Pandaria? I want to say Mists of Pandaria challenge mode dungeons became a thing. And at the challenge mode dungeons ultimately turned into Mythic Plus eventually. Not exactly, not one-to-one, but you know, the success of the challenge mode dungeons spurred Mythic Plus to be a thing, I believe. It'd be nice to see if they were able to do some more stuff with past expansion content. But I don't want it to be at the expense of new content. This is the fine line that needs to be. I would absolutely love them to reinvigorate past expansion content, as long as they're creating new stuff as well. It should be an additional 2. It should be a bonus 2. And this is why I think time walking kind of got people kind of annoyed. Legion time walking the Mage Tower kind of annoyed people, because people are of the opinion that Legion Mythic Plus and Mage Tower was at the cost of doing something new. Now, I don't think that's truly the case, but I can understand why people see it that way. I would happily see this stuff be reinvigorated, but as long as we're still getting a steady supply of new stuff. The fact that we've had one content patch in 12 months kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth when they then go start rehashing old content. It's a bit annoying. If there's a steady flow of new stuff, sure, you know, do whatever you want. Bring back Mage Tower as a bonus event, cool. But when we've not had any new content, we've had one content patch in 12 months, $180 if you were to have been subscribed to the game for that 12-month duration. You pay $180 a year to play this game, and in that time we have had one content patch, one new zone, one new raid. When you look at it at that, you know, in that perspective, it's understandable why people get annoyed with it. They could do with a sub-team dedicated just to doing stuff with old content whilst the main team continues to go forward with new content. They probably do. I mean, we'll never know just how much, just exactly what the logistics are at Blizzard, but yeah. By the way, the bag restock from Guild Bank is an amazing TSM feature I never used before. Yeah, that restock bags thing is a blessing in disguise. But anyway, that was the Wellhead Weekly Economy Wrap-Up, episode 205. Oh my god, there's 12 comments. Do I dare read the comments? I say that every time. I always read the comments. Let's have a look. Okay. Sigh, even more materials. This puts Shadowlands close to 50 crafting materials. Yes, as expected. But at this point, I just wish for higher stacks. A second crafting materials tab in the bank, or even better, a crafting bank with practically unlimited storage for all of your characters on a faction or realm. This is just blah, whatever. But yeah, this is definitely a topic that comes up quite frequently. At this point, for the love of God, just give us more storage space. Like, honestly, the reagent bank was added years ago at this point, and it's still not big enough for people that actually have any dealing with crafting. Even Diablo 2 Remade had a shared stash. Yeah, true. Could we please have a use for Eternal Crystals? New enchants required in some other profession crafts? Anything, to be honest. Well, it is. For starters, this is going to be used in one of the new optional crafting reagents that enchanters can make. So there will be new uses for Eternal Crystals. We don't know about new specific enchants yet. I'm going to be honest, I don't think they probably will get them. But there will be more use for Eternal Crystals. We know that. I bet the next change will be removing all the meat from the game. What if my character... Okay. Will the legendaries be cheaper with this new optional reagent? Oh god, that's wishful thinking. If it will have the same drop chance as Korthite crystals, but will only require 2, then it should decrease the price of legendaries, right? There is so many assumptions in that one sentence, it's not even funny. If it has the same drop chance, well, you can already get Korthite crystals from multiple sources, so this can't even happen. Sure, at the moment, it says you only need 2 instead of 40. So there is some logic there, but no. Blizzard will balance it so legendaries are still just as expensive. High price legendaries equals token sales. There is no way that there's no way that a rank 7 legendary is not going to cost 150,000 gold. There's no way. No way. After what they did in patch 9.1, there is no way a rank 7 won't cost 150,000 gold. Expensive legendaries equals token sales. It's a fact. Cooking one looks fun. Agreed. Of course. The one thing that everybody latches onto is the meme post about vegetarians. Sure. Okay. Blizzard stated before Shadowlands that archaeology wouldn't be approached in this expansion, as they found it illogical that stuff can be dug out in realms of the dead. They you know what's really this makes me giggle so frequently. It makes me giggle so frequently when I see players arguing for Blizzard using Blizzard's PR-based excuses for why they're not doing something. You know, your bullshit detector should be absolutely blinking like crazy every time Blizzard talks about the lore. Every time Blizzard talks about the lore of the game, it is an excuse for them to why they haven't done something. Every time. Literally every... why have we not done archaeology? We haven't done archaeology. Oh yeah, because it's the Shadowland. Yeah, picking up artifacts from the Shadowlands. It doesn't make lore sense. Bullshit detector just like absolutely blasting. The answer why archaeology is not in Shadowlands is because they did not want to devote any development time to archaeology. They had bigger problems on their plate. It's just real simple. And I love when people start, you know, fighting Blizzard's corner using the same excuses. They didn't approach it in 9.1 or 9.1, so it's not really surprising they don't in 9.2, sure. Never found archaeology that interesting in WoW. It's always just going to a dig site and finishing a random project, most of them useless, aside from a few new toys, mounts, whatever. Yeah, like they didn't want to devote time and effort into a system that people didn't use in the first place. But obviously they have to come up with a political answer to why they didn't do it. I just find it so amusing when people regurgitate Blizzard's like really, really bad excuses. Oh dear. What do you think is the lore excuse for Sylvanas to turn into a purple donkey? I can't remember what the butterfly effect was of turning Sylvanas into a purple donkey. I did say there was some reason why it would happen. They changed something in one area of the... Oh yeah, it was they would take copper. Right, we'll get rid of coppers. We'll just have silver and gold. If we get rid of... If we don't need copper anymore, we'll just have silver and gold. And the side effect of that is that Sylvanas gets turned into a purple donkey. That could be an interesting thumbnail for a video idea, couldn't it? Okay. I didn't get too triggered with those comments, you know. I'm quite surprised. Usually the comments make me want to pull my hair out. Not that there's much of it left, but that was relatively pleasant. That was borderline pleasant. I actually got a giggle out of that. Alrighty. We sold a bunch of stuff during that time. Item level 87, Desolate Leather Waistguard, 900 gold. Don't mind if I do. Desolate Leather Arm Guards, 350 gold. None of this stuff is ever going to make you a millionaire. But at the moment, when we are so far away from being a millionaire, it's worth doing. It's worth doing. Nice. Nice. I'm giggling now knowing the lore again. Yeah. We remove coppers from the game. Sylvanas turns into a purple donkey. Well though, boys and girls, I think I'm actually going to leave it there for today. Now I know we haven't gone on to the PTR at all. The problem is I don't have a huge amount of time today. I want to continue to keep on track with my YouTube schedule a little bit. Plus, it is actually technically a national holiday here in Finland. My wife has the day off, and so I should probably be a good husband and not spend all day in front of the computer. So we will do some PTR stuff tomorrow. We'll go do some. We'll go explore Zereth Mortis. We might play around with Torghast tomorrow. You know, I'm interested to have a little play about with Torghast. What are the Finns celebrating today? It's their Independence Day today. It's their Independence Day, so it's a national holiday. The 6th of December every year is their Independence Day. Right. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. 30 seconds of shameless promo. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We actually, what I should probably do is remind you guys that the VODs from the stream, the VODs from the stream go up on Manthias TV. I don't keep them here on Twitch because Twitch is a dick. Twitch deletes the VODs here after a couple of days. Additionally, you know, they're a bit annoying to navigate through. Another bonus is this channel is not monetized, so you'll never see an ad by watching the VOD over on Manthias TV. Make sure you also go and subscribe there as well. Every day after the stream, I upload the VOD there. And long term, I will probably turn it into a little bit of a clips and highlight channel as well. But the VODs go up there, so make sure you go hit the sub button over there. Yeah, I'm not gonna dive too deep into the shameless promo. Enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. Happy goal making. I'll see you all tomorrow. In a bit. Peace.